Okay, today I want to talk a little bit more about weight gain. Seems like probably every video could be about how to deal with and cope with your body changing and with that fear of weight gain, because it's absolutely imperative that you do rewire that fear of gaining weight if you want to recover from a restrictive eating disorder. I want to specifically talk about, to start off with, the initial weight gain that you will notice when you start recovery. So typically with recovery, you'll have usually a very short window that I refer to as the honeymoon phase of recovery, where you commit to recovery. You're like, I'm doing this, I'm going for it, and you just go for it and start eating everything that you haven't eaten forever, and you're challenging foods, and you're letting yourself eat out, and you're like really, really going for it. Your foot's on the gas and you're excited, right? And all is good, right? You're just not really noticing huge changes, maybe little ones, and maybe, it's kind of like, wow, I can't believe how much I'm eating, and oh, not everyone goes through this, but this is very common. And before really significant changes happen, it kind of is a fun, exciting little thing to experience, right? Wow, I can do recovery, this is great, look at me. And then at some point, sooner or later, you start feeling, like genuinely feeling different. Significant changes are happening at this point, right? And then this is when people start questioning, start questioning a lot of things, but I don't know if I can keep doing this. Maybe I shouldn't have even started recovery. Or this is my favorite. Maybe I actually wasn't even sick. Like maybe I shouldn't have even done this. Maybe I shouldn't have started recovery. And I remember in my own experience having this happen. My honeymoon phase, I looking back now, at the time I didn't really think, wow, nothing's happening, because every day, the first couple of days, I was like, oh my gosh, my body's changing so much. But then looking back, it was like, no, nothing was happening. But when it really was like undeniable that like my clothes weren't fitting and things were feeling different, that first initial feeling and moment where it was like, this is happening, a lot of different feelings came up for me. I remember thinking, I can't do this. I actually don't think I can endure this discomfort. I don't know if it's worth it. I started questioning everything. And the thing that got me through those moments was when I had to refer back to why I started. I had to really dive deep into why did I decide to start recovery? Because it was so easy to like forget about all the crap that I had to experience while being sick in order to keep that body. It's so easy to glamorize an eating disorder when you're in recovery and just start focusing on how much you miss that thinner body and how much, your life was supposedly so much better when you were in this smaller body than where you are now in recovery. The problem is you're comparing like where you were at your sickest to this very uncomfortable stage in recovery that is not forever. It's temporary. Not necessarily that your body's going to change and go back. That part's not temporary. Like your body is going to heal and it's going to be unsuppressed for the rest of your life. But the way that you view and think about your body and that discomfort and anxiety around your body is absolutely temporary. So you've got to remember your why when you're starting to really, really panic about your body changing. Otherwise, you're not going to get through this. You have to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. It's so easy to just see right in front of you in that moment, and everything starts to feel so overwhelming, and you have so many doubts rushing through your mind 100 miles an hour, and it's just like you have no fighting chance, right? That's when you have to go back to like, okay, why did I reach out for help? Why did I decide that I was going to recover? What got you to that point? And that's what I had to hold on to. And I had to just tell myself, like, I decided to recover because I want a better life. I want a better life for my family. I want to actually live. I don't want to just keep existing. I have to do this. This is so scary, but I have to do it. Something that you have to be careful of, though, as you start noticing your body changing, like significantly changing, right? Everyone listening to this that's really pushed themselves and who's truly in recovery, this is going to happen. You have to be very, very cautious that anxiety around your body changing is not affecting your appetite. Anxiety absolutely can kind of blunt your appetite. So it can make it quite suppressed because that anxiety about your body changing so much. I noticed this in myself. I caught it pretty quickly, but I do remember almost being repulsed by food because I then equated my body changing with the food I've been eating, and that's disgusting, and I can't believe I've been eating all this food, and I have to change this, and I'm gonna stop, and everything's gonna be different. I'm just gonna do this in a whole clean foods way. I can still do it. And I started coming up with this plan, right? Because I just was associating all these foods that I was enjoying with this is why my body's this way, rather than all of these foods I've been enjoying are helping me to heal and recover my body, and I'm rewiring my mind by doing them. These foods are my best friend. I should keep eating these foods. But that anxiety really was hard for me to deal with, and I did notice it starting impacting my appetite. So what I had to do was I completely had to flip and look at weight gain in a different way. This is much easier said than done. A lot of things are in recovery, right, that I talk about. It's easy for me to say, it's much harder to do. But what I had to do was see the weight that was coming on me and experience my stomach getting bigger and experience my arms and my face filling out and my legs becoming harder to cross and just moving about in this body feeling so different. I had to look at it as a symbol and a sign that I was walking away from my eating disorder. To me, that was confirmation that I am really doing what I need to do in recovery to say goodbye to this eating disorder. And isn't that the point? Isn't that why I started this whole journey? Because I want to be done with the eating disorder. So when I would look down and I'd see the rolls on my belly, I wouldn't freak out. I mean, I would, but I'd have to reframe it and be like, Becky, isn't that the point? Did you really think you were going to recover and not experience changes in your body? Of course you were. So talking myself through it logically really helped. Same thing with like getting rid of clothes. I got rid of clothes, and instead of, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is so sad, it still was, but I had to reframe it and tell myself, me holding on to these clothes would keep me sick, because if I ever fit in this size again, if I ever fit back into these clothes, that's a sign I'm sick again. I don't want that. I have to get these out of my closet, out of my life. So saying goodbye to those was like saying goodbye to eating disorder. New chapter of my life, I am moving on. Weight gain was extremely hard. I think sometimes when people ask me questions like how did you deal with it, or what did you do, I for some reason they think it was like easier for me than it is for them. It's not. It was awful. I cried a lot. I questioned if I was doing it right. I was angry that it was happening so fast and other people's was so slow, and what's wrong with my metabolism, and I'm not even fully eating everything I want, and look what's happening. And it was just like so much doubt and fear. And I had to replace that again with, I just started looking at the stretch marks and looking at the belly rolls and looking at my face filling out and looking at nothing fitting me anymore as a sign that I was doing something right, as wrong as it felt. So hopefully something in this video has resonated with you, something you've listened to, you can relate to. And my best advice again is reframe that, turn it around, and tell yourself, new chapter, new me. That is the old me I'm leaving behind. Okay, have a good day.